In the hills of ancient Greece, in a time long before ours, there lived a woman named Ithmonika. She had a husband, she had a home, but the one thing she wanted most, a child, she did not have. In her world, this was not simply a private sadness. A married woman who could not conceive carried an enormous social stigma. It was a mark that followed you everywhere. Neighbors whispered. Her husband's family questioned her place in the household. In a society where women already had almost no standing, being childless made you invisible. There were no treatments, no explanations, no comfort from science. There was only prayer. And so Ithmonika set out on a journey, not to a healer, not to a wise woman, but to a god. She was going to Epidaurus, a great healing sanctuary in the hills of southern Greece, dedicated to the divine healer Asclepius. People came from across the Greek world to this place. The sick, the lame, the blind, the desperate. They all came because they believed that Asclepius could heal them. They believed that if you slept within the walls of the sanctuary, the god himself would visit you in a dream, and in that dream, he would heal you. The sanctuary was filled with stone pillars covered in carved stories, testimonies of those whose prayers had been answered by the god. Ithmonika stepped inside, and there, before the statue of the god, she knelt. We do not know exactly what she said, but we know what she wanted. She wanted what thousands upon thousands of childless women throughout history have wanted. She wanted to become a mother. She asked Asclepius, "Please, let me become pregnant." And the divine healer obliged. Ithmonika became pregnant after all those years of shame, of silence, of emptiness. Life had taken root inside her. We can only imagine the joy she must have felt, the relief. Perhaps for the first time, she felt whole. But then, something strange happened. Months passed, the seasons turned, spring came and went. Then summer, a full year passed, and Ithmonika was still pregnant. Then 2 years. Then 3. 3 years, and she was still pregnant. The miracle she had begged for had become a curse she could not understand. What kind of answer was this? What kind of God gives you exactly what you asked for and then traps you inside it? There was only one thing left to do. And so Ithmonika made the long journey a second time. 3 years older, 3 years heavier, 3 years more desperate than before. She walked back through those sacred gates, past the carved pillars, past the other pilgrims, and she stood once more before Asclepius, and politely, we must assume she was polite about it, she asked the god, "What is going on?" And the god answered, "You again. You said you wanted to become pregnant, so I obliged, and now you tell me you wanted to give birth. You silly woman, you should have been more specific." No doubt, the god enjoyed his little joke. And after that, at last, the waiting was over. Ithmonika gave birth. 3 years of carrying a life that refused to arrive. And then she held her child. The silence that had followed her for so long was broken by a cry, the first breath of a new life. And then Ithmonika did something remarkable. She had her story carved onto one of the stone pillars at Epidaurus. Her strange, funny, deeply human story, preserved in stone for over 2,000 years. Whether we believe her story or not, Ithmonika's words speak to something far larger than one woman's strange pregnancy. They speak of the fervent hopes of thousands upon thousands of childless women throughout history. Women whose names we will never know. Women who walked those same dusty roads, who knelt before the same stone gods, who whispered the same desperate prayers into the dark. Ithmonika's story survived because she carved it into stone, but behind every inscription, there were hundreds more who came and left no mark at all. They are the other side of history, the ones who lived, who suffered, who hoped, and who were forgotten. But not all of them, not Ithmonika. She made sure of that.